Next, we will have our presenter, Si Gong, come up. She'll be talking about exploring an imagined we in human collective hunting, joint commitment within shared intentionality.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sigo. I am an incoming PhD student at the Communication Department at UCLA. Today, I'm going to share our paper that talks about cooperation and shared intentionality by combining a behavior experiment as well as computational modeling. First, I would like to introduce our first author, Ning Tang. However, unfortunately, he couldn't be here with us today physically, but he'll be joining us through Zoom. So something developmental scientists have been noticing in humans is that humans have very special cooperation. They're willing to commit to achieving a goal together with other collaborators in collaborative activities. So this tendency has been tested in humans as young as toddlers who don't even possess a mature system for explicit communication. For example, we see that when collaborators leave halfway during a collaboration, children are trying to make an effort to re-engage them back to collaborative activities as if they're saying that, nope, you're not going anywhere, you're part of this. Children also continue to collaborate when they receive their own shared reward prematurely. They continue to support their collaborators until both parties receive their own shared reward. However, animals, to our knowledge, do not exhibit this level of commitment to cooperative activities, not even our closest evolutionary relative, chimpanzees. So the question comes across our mind: what is cognitively supporting this unique commitment-oriented cooperative patterns in humans? As Michael Tomasello also talked about this yesterday, perhaps it's something to do with their ability to share psychological states with one another and to be able to represent the self and others under this under this umbrella concept of a group agent or we. So it is not a type of recursive reasoning where I know that, you know that, I want to hunt a stag. Instead, it is the type of we reasoning where I know that we as a group want to hunt a stag together as a group. This cognitive representation of individual as a group has been framed as the shared intentionality framework, which has been proposed as the mechanism, the underlying mechanism to distinguish humans from the rest of the animal kingdom. Importantly, there are two properties about shared intention that has been generally acknowledged. First, it is about how it is irreducible to a shared summation, aggregation, or distributed patterns of individual intentions. So proposed by Margaret Gilbert, this is how shared intentionality works. All agents first signals their readiness or willingness to commit to cooperative activities through whatever behavior. And then a joint commitment is formed when agents are willingly to joint committed to espousing a goal as a buddy. And once the joint commitment is established, individuals make up a plural subject, or this collective entity which can be understood as a distinct agent with its own action in mind. Yet another well-accepted claim is that a shared intention is ultimately had and owned by the individual, meaning that there is no such thing as dictatorship. Every participant voluntarily form a joint commitment to a cooperative activity. And this is to say that shared intention, like any other intention, only makes sense at an individual level and cannot escape one's own mind. However, as many of you may have noticed, there seems to be some tension between the two ideas that first, shared intention cannot be reduced to individual level and has to be something collective in nature. It seems to be at odds with the other idea that shared intention, like any other intention, makes sense at an individual level and cannot escape one's own mind. So how can we approach this paradox? Well, one way to approach it is to make the group agent unreal by using the imaginative capacity of human individuals. So instead of having this real we in real life, which is made of a set of individuals, so us, really you and I, instead of having that, we're having this super agent that is really imagined and created by an agent's mind that has its own mental states, such as belief, desire, and intention. It takes a bird eye perspective over all the real agents in the environment and directly control the action of the agents that imagine it and form expectation of the other agents' action in the environment. We will revisit this imagine we concept as we go to the modeling part. But in particular, in the study, we're interested in exploring shared intention in the collective hunting setting. Collective hunting is the complex form of group activity in which hunters pursue prey in a group effort. And we want to explore this because it is commonly seen in the animal kingdom, and it is evolutionary significant, not only because it provides an effective strategies for hunting, but also because it extends cooperation beyond kinship to genetically unrelated group mates. To explore shared intentionality in human collective hunting, we first ask the question, do humans actually use shared intention and to commit to sharing intention when they cooperate? If they do so, then theoretically, they should be able to commit to a shared goal out of multiple equivalent goals in a collective hunting task, even without explicit communication. To test this, we designed a real-time cooperative hunting task in which 3 humans each play a hunter. Their goal is to catch as many stacks as possible to maximize the reward. In the environment, there's either 1 target, 2 targets, or 4 targets, or 4 preys that's present in the game. And the hunters will receive a joint reward upon any successful touch of a target. And since the target runs faster than the hunters are greatly motivated to collectively decide on a prey to pursue. And crucially, this process occurred without explicit communication. There are 2 demos showing that how human hunters hunt for stacks in the 2 target and 4 target conditions. As we can see, hunters mostly go after 1 prey at a time, and they develop a strategy to either corner or encircle the prey to maximize their chance of touching the prey, which run faster than them. So then we want to ask a question, can we model shared intentionality through targeting the 2 claims about the shared intentionality, irreducibility, and individual ownership claim? And if we can do that, can our model successfully capture some important aspects of human cooperative patterns? Well, we're not the first group trying to explore this. Recent works that demonstrate several work try to model shared agency in a variety of cooperative tasks using a Bayesian theory of mind approach. Our model, named the Imagine We model or IW model, also approach shared agency through Bayesian theory of mind. And our model was first reported at Coxside 2020 with preliminary modeling results showing the feasibility of this model with only 2 collaborators and without any comparison to human behaviors or baseline model. Specifically, our model focused on Margaret Gilbert's joint commitment accounts of shared intentionality to resolve the tension between the 2 claims of shared intentionality. It goes like this. First, we have this group agent, or we, that is formalized as a single autonomous agent with its own belief, desire, and intention that directly control the actions of real agents. And crucially, this we agent is not real. It is instead imagined by the individual through the counterfactual reasoning of how can I explain my own and others' action if such action had been indeed rationally generated by a super individual agent, we. To this point, people might wonder, how on earth can individuals infer we's mind when it's not even real? Well, we use a bootstrapping method to make this happen. First, each agent first samples a joint goal from their inferred distribution of their imagined we's agents' mental states. And given this joint goal, the agent then samples a joint action by simulating a centralized planner, as this joint action includes their own action that are going to take in the future, as well as expectation of other agents' action. The same process occurred to the other agent. And as both agents output actions to the fully observable environment, their states updated. And by observing the world and other agents' action, they're able to update their own imagined we by inverse planning. Essentially, this is a process of agents informing what we want to do by looking at what we has done. And the process repeats itself as time step updates. Through this repeatedly updating process, We expect agents to have increasingly similar beliefs distribution about their own we agents. So we think that ideally their we agents should align with each other gradually, and at some point, different version of we agents should converge. So to demonstrate this convergence, we set the brightness of a target to be the amount of accumulated inference of O agents imagined we on that target. And as we'll see in the demos, at first, O targets are pretty dark, indicating an absence of convergence. However, at the end, our targets is significantly brighter than the other targets, representing a convergence of we's belief on that target. And now we're going to show the demos. This is the demo of Imagine We hunters converging on a target. As you can see, the targets get brighter and brighter, indicating convergence of we's belief. Right. As a baseline, we also employed a reward sharing model implemented by the multi-agent reinforcement learning. In this case, collaboration is encouraged by assigning O agents the same reward function, and thus effectively allow agents to share the group reward. But in contrast to IW model, the reward sharing model does not contain any structures of shared intentionality. Its formalization of cooperation is also not fundamentally different from competition, except from a different reward function. However, it is identical to the IW model in the case of a single target. So we have a demo of RS model pursuing one target environment, and so we can see they're really good at it. However, as the number of target increase to 4, we see that their teaming becomes a lot more brittle and their overall performance seems to drop. Is this really the case? Let's look at the results of overall performance that is measured by accumulated reward. So in this graph, the x-axis indicates the number of targets, the y-axis indicates accumulated reward. And we see that for humans, as the number of target increased from 1 to 2, there wasn't really a significant change in their performance. However, when the number of targets increased from 2 to 4, we see that their performance actually increased. For the IW model, we see that the overall performance did not decrease, but was rather maintained even when the number of target increased. However, we see something different in the patterns of RS model's performance. As the number of target increase, the performance seems to steadily decrease. So that confirms what we saw in the demos. From the behaviors of different types of hunters, we notice that humans typically corner the prey and keep touching it for a longer duration of time, whereas the RS agents seems to typically touch a target briefly and then just let it go soon. Intuitively, this gives us a sense that there might be something fundamentally different in the way they cooperate, in the way they hunt. So this phenomena motivates us to measure the quality of hunting among different types of hunter. We define the quality of hunting by the number of consecutive touches hunters apply to the target. So the quality of raw rewards were categorized into 3 classes in terms of touch duration: high for 3 or more time steps, medium for 2 time steps, and low for only 1 time step. So in this case, the x-axis is the type of hunter, the y-axis is the percentage of accumulated reward resulting from one particular quality of hunt. And in this case, the darker greatness would indicate a higher quality of hunts. We see that when there are only 2 targets in the environment, the humans achieve the greatest quality of hunt, followed by the IW model, and the RS model achieved the smallest proportion. And a similar pattern was also found in the 4-target condition. Further, we want to understand commitment, so we measure the level of goal concentration from hunters in their homogeneous group. So a higher goal consistency between hunters in a group will be indicated by a lower entropy of the distribution of their touch target. So when hunters all concentrate on the same goal, there will be a low entropy and a high goal consistency. Whereas when hunters each go after separate goals, there will be a high entropy and a low goal consistency. So x-axis in this case indicates the number of targets, and the y-axis is the entropy of target distribution among hunters. In this case, we see that in the 2-target condition, the IW model in blue achieves its greatest goal consistency, followed by humans in gray and RS in orange. Whereas in the 4-target condition, we see that both IW model and human models achieve a similar level of goal consistency, both higher than the RS model. So these results tells us that the way humans perceive their goal could be better captured by the IW model than the RS model. So far, we only examined the performance of each type of player within their homogeneous group. So humans with humans, IW with IW, and RS with RS. And here we want to take one step further to examine how well can the model team up with humans, specifically by looking at how well the models can replace a human player. We designed a hybrid team simulation to test the compatibility of hunter strategies between model hunter and human hunters. And to test this, we first remove a human hunter from the pre-recorded trajectory, and then we add a model hunter to the environment. Then we measure the cross entropy of the target distribution of the original human team and a new hybrid team. So here the cross entropy indicates the difference between the two distribution. If we have an original human team where all the 3 hunters focus on that middle yellow target, after replace a human hunter with a model hunter, if the model hunter instead focusing on some other preys, then there will be a high cross entropy and low co-consistency. Instead, if the model hunter also concentrates on the same prey as human hunters, then we will see a low cross entropy as well as a high goal consistency. Let's take a look at the results. The x-axis indicates the number of targets, while the y-axis is the cross entropy of target distribution. We see that the IW model in blue has a significantly lower cross entropy than the RS model in orange, suggesting that the IW model could better mimic the intention of human hunters compared to the RS model. In conclusion, a study found that humans are really good at collaboration in hunting tasks, facing multiple temptations, even without explicit communication. And shared intentionality is a pivotal element in human cooperation, and our model that embed this structure of shared intentionality and captures some important aspects of human cooperative behaviors. Third, we found that as the collaboration task in the real world and often tempted by different desires, sharing reward only provide a weak constraint on collective behaviors and is itself not sufficient to capture humans' cooperative behaviors. Furthermore, we noticed something remarkable of humans in their overall performance, as many of you guys may have noticed. Their accumulated reward actually increase when the number of targets increased from 2 to 4. So we think what could have happened is that under shared intention, human has a flexible task assignment that allowed them to better harness opportunity offered by the environment, especially in a case where there are more praise available in the environment. So this is also something we want to explore in our future research, whether we can allow a greater flexibility in IW models' teaming behavior while maintaining shared intentionality. Special thanks to my supervisor, Tao Gao, from the Communication and Statistics departments of UCLA, and all my contributing authors from Zhejiang University and UCLA. And thank you guys for listening. I'm happy to take any question. The first author will also be online to take any online question. Thank you.
Hello, thanks for the talk. This is a little bit more complex of a task than I'm used to seeing in modeling cooperation, and I was hoping have you studied the kind of the constraints and the payoffs of the task to know like what happens if somebody actually defects from the group? Is there what does that actually look like, and like what is the optimal strategy here with respect to cooperating or not in this kind of hunting game?
Yeah.
Thanks.
So thank you for your question. So in this case, the IW in this environment setup, in the game setup, the praise, the target ran a lot faster than the hunters. So it would be less effective if hunters decide to go separately to pursue their own prey. So like such a strategy where like they kind of just each go after one, that'd be very ineffective, because in this case, the hunters run slower. So most likely they will develop a strategy, and that's what we see humans do. They develop strategies to together collectively decide on a prey to go after together. And then in that way, they maximize their chance of touching the prey, because touch this prey and touch that prey give you the same reward. So why do if we can effectively touch a prey multiple times and corner the stacks and just keep touching it, why don't we just do that? So in that case, this is how cooperation is very much encouraged in this task, especially in this joint commitment where like we're committed to a shared goal. Does it hopefully that answers your question.